Welcome to the conversation part of the Upper Bowl podcast. We have our 2026 MLB preview. We have recurring guests of the program from ESNY New York and also Baseline Baseball, which you can hear on all podcasts, which he does with his host Dante. I was supposed to be on a few times, but my schedules never work out at all. I'd like to welcome back to the podcast Josh Benjamin from ESNY New York. Josh, how are we doing? And I gotta say, are you enjoying that the baseball season is finally coming now for everyone? Could we say that at least?
I am pretty excited. I'm not sure whether I'm excited for the game itself, but I'm also very excited to see, because we were talking about this before we hit record, about baseball coming on Netflix and NBC. I mean, because the way that NBC is doing it, for those listening at home, Jason Benetti is going to be their play-by-play guy.
Okay.
And it sounds like they're going to do what they did with Sunday Morning Baseball a couple of years ago, where the color commentary, they're going to rotate per game, and it's going to be like one guy representing each team.
I kind of like that, actually.
Well, no, because Netflix is very much doing the same thing, because they've got tomorrow for Yankees Giants, they've got Matty V on play-by-play, I think, and then then for the Yankees they've got CeCe Sabathia, and for the Giants they got Hunter Pence. Which those two together, they're just going to cut pro wrestling promos on each other. It's going to be great.
Oh, yes. I can confirm from 506 Sports. It's Matt Vasgersian, Hunter Pence, and CeCe Sabathia. Anyways, we can confirm that, by the way.
Yeah.
So and NBC for 1 o'clock, it is for Pirates Mets. It's Matt Vasgersian, Al Leiter, and Neil Walker.
Al Leiter's going back in the booth. All right.
Yes. So this is from 506sports.com. So I'll be really, really interesting to see anyway what's going to happen with that anyways.
Yeah, Neil Walker's from Pittsburgh, so it's going to be interesting to have him on Pirates commentary.
Yeah, and also he played for both teams anyway, so it's perfect anyway.
And the Yankees too.
I know, for sure. And the late game for the Dodgers and Diamondbacks, it's Benetti, Gonzo, and Oral Hershiser, the Bulldog.
Luis Gonzalez,
yes.
I've been trying to get in touch with him for a while, so I'll be interested to see how he does on commentary.
Same too. I feel like we haven't seen him on commentary since maybe 2006. I'd like to say.
Probably, yeah. It's been that long.
Yeah, that's what I last checked. Anyways, I was like, he hasn't been on that thing. I was like, wow, so it's crazy. All right, so we always do here on the for the MLB preview. We don't like to go through. We go through all the teams, but we don't really do all the big news and headlines. We like to do over unders because we just like we like to have fun on this show. Anyways, we like guess like so. I got all the over unders I grabbed last night on DraftKings.com. Anyways. Please sponsor. That's all I asked for, anyways. Please. Day there. So we're going to start with the AL East, the Central, the West. Anyway,
yeah, sure.
So are we cool with that at least? All right. So AL East, I'll start with division winner last year was the Blue Jays. They won the division. They have their current over under for win totals 88.5. Over or under? What do you say?
For the Blue Jays, this is really tough because the thing that got kind of lost in the narrative with the Blue Jays last year is that it's not so much they were overachieving; they were kind of taking an offensive approach that the short term works but in the long term, you really got to luck out to get at your best. Because the most realistic comparison I saw to the Blue Jays last year was the 2002 Mike Scioscia Angels, just very aggressive, not really striking out, kind of taking every at bat personally. And yeah, the Blue Jays, they have the bats there, but you're on the 6th season. Another 166 weighted runs created plus. I don't think he's going to do that. Anthony Santander is injured again. And meanwhile, it goes back to the pitching. Who's pitching? Because you have Dylan Cease, who, look, that's a great signing, but he's very hit or miss, as you see in the National League. Kevin Gossman, very good, kind of on the back nine. But then Trey Savage is hurt. Shane Bieber's hurt. And you got Jose Barrios is hurt. Cody Ponce and Max Scherzer. So, look, I'm not saying the Blue Jays are a bad team. I think that given the state of the pitching staff and how much the offense overachieved last year, I'll give them under 88.5.
They'll be competing with the Yankees anyways in that division anyways. So I'm going to say over 88.5. I think they're going to be like 92, 93 win team this year.
All right.
I think 93 at least. All right, Yankees 90.5.
Over.
What do you think? Am I crazy to say 100 wins?
With the Yankees, you never want to rule it out.
Okay.
Because it's all about with the Yankees. I like to look at them as the perfect representation of how the 2.5 player model works. Now this applies mostly to basketball. The most popular example is you had Kobe Bryant, and then his 2.5 players worth of support. You had Pau Gasol, Lamar Odom, and Andrew Bynum. And Shaq was just like 2.5 players all on his own. So,
and you had Derek Fisher too, also.
Sure, Derek Fisher. So, but then with Judge in the lineup, you have the Yankees. They have Aaron Judge. We'll throw Cody Bellinger in there, so that's one player. Giancarlo Stanton when he's healthy, that's two. And the question is, who's going to be that other half player? Or maybe is Stanton the half player and someone else is going to step up? Ben Rice, they think he's going to have a 30 home run season this year. Jazz Chisholm has his eyes on a 40-40. Austin Wells, prime bounce back candidate. And even the pitching staff kind of banged up right now. The Yankees are still in pretty good shape.
Yeah.
Because you have Max Fried opening day, great. Soft contact, ground ball pitcher. As long as he doesn't have blisters, he's fine.
Oh, yeah.
Cam Schlittler, who pretty much was mini Garrett Cole last year, and now he throws a cutter, so even better. Will Warren, he's moved to the other side of the mound. Ryan Weathers. Funny thing with Ryan Weathers, he did not have great spring training numbers, but he didn't walk a ton of guys either. He just kind of got burned by BABIP. And he's not going to be in the rotation long term anyway, so he's not that. I'm not too worried about him. Now, those are the top four guys. Now, here's the wild card, Luis Heel. I think now he's the fifth starter. He's not going through the first go in the rotation. They're going to skip his turn.
Okay.
But again, this is someone who is largely a two-pitch pitcher. He's a fastball slider guy. Had a lot of issues with the velocity up until the end of spring training when all of a sudden he started throwing a two-seamer, which, okay, fine, I don't know. But regardless, the fact of the matter is that pretty soon, by the end of April, we're going to have Carlos Rodon back. Garrett Cole is probably going to be back sometime in May, June from Tommy John surgery. And
I say June for that's when
procedure, but I think they're just being extra cautious with him because it's Garrett Cole.
Yeah, you have
but one way or another, I find it very likely that whenever Rodon or Cole is ready to come back, the first guy on the chopping block is going to be Luis Heel because that kind of stuff. If you can throw 98 on a good day and have a slider that works and maybe mix in a changeup, that's your prime high leverage reliever right there.
Yep. All righty. I think the big thing is like, I think I just want to see what Garrett Cole looks like post Tommy John. If he's going to be firing, that's the main thing. Anyways, that's how I view it. It's Garrett Cole's a staff. Fried's there. I think you have a great. I like the starting rotation. The bullpen's the bullpen. If we can agree on that, right?
Yeah, I mean the Yankees bullpen. It's always going to take care of itself. I mean, I'm never going to complain about having Tim Hill back on the team.
Yeah,
Dave Bednar and Camilo Doval. That's a really good 1-2 punch. You could use it close, or maybe even switch them off depending on the matchups. And let's just put this out right now. Fernando Cruz is a crazy person in the best way.
I like it already.
No, because like there's some gifs of him where he's really hyping himself up and he's kind of going like that on the mound.
Yes,
and he had one strikeout either against the Red Sox in the playoffs last year or towards the end of the season where he got like some big significant out and was just like off the mound, like full off, like Hulk Hoganing it up. I was kind of surprised he didn't flat out rip his jersey off.
That would be funny if he did that, by the way. Like classic Derek Lowe would do that. Anyway, so
yeah, so pretty as long as Fernando Cruz stays healthy because he had some shoulder and hamstring problems last year, he's going to be a big part of that Yankee bullpen, and maybe even the rookie Carlos Legrand is going to come too with his Dylan Betances like stuff. We'll see.
Just hope he doesn't have the sticky fingers like Dylan Betances did, anyways.
But Dylan Betances just didn't know how to hide it. Curveball. So yeah,
definitely. All right, Red Sox 87.5. I think this is the only thing that really happened with Red Sox Nation. Really, I like to say is their owner tweeted on Twitter for the first time in 6 years, anyways, which is hilarious. By the way,
oh god, what did he say?
Historic. It was like whenever Dan Shaughnessy was pissed about how they didn't send anybody down for spring training baseball games. That's why. So
all right then.
87.5. I'm gonna say under. Can I say that?
I'm going to say over just because the pitching staff is a lot better than it lets on.
Okay. I just don't believe in the pitching staff. That's my big thing anyways.
Well, that's just about the pitching staff. It's Garrett Crochet and who's the next guy. Because, look, Ronher Suarez, I thought that was a great signing for them. I just think he's going to get tattooed in the AL East.
That's my thing.
Yeah, and Sonny Gray, he's a pitcher. He's going to figure himself out. And Brian Bayo, I think that by the end of this year, if he stays healthy and if that changeup is working, I think you're going to have to start looking at him as a viable number 2 or number 3 starter.
Don't they have the Dustin kid also from the Dodgers?
Dustin May.
Yes.
No, they traded for him. They traded for him last year, and he wasn't that good. Now he's with the Cardinals.
Oh, never mind. I've lost track. That's where he's been, anyways. I remember that big.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say under. I'm just not impressed with the Red Sox. They usually have some big name. They haven't had that since.
Look, there's a lot to be said about the Red Sox because they are a very young team. I think we said on Baseline Baseball last week that there's only, I think, 3 total players on the roster with more than 3 years of service time.
Mm-hmm.
There's Wilson Contreras. You got Trevor Story. Oh, I'm sorry, in the starting lineup potentially, and then I think Jarren Duran is the other one.
Okay.
Yeah, and so again, this is a very young team. They've also got some bad contracts on the mix because remember they extended that Christian Campbell kid last year, and he kind of did fuck all.
Yeah.
Now, this being said, another thing to consider with the Red Sox is the WBC hero for Venezuela, Wilyer Abreu.
Yes.
Wilyer Abreu did a lot of work this offseason on bettering his contact against high fastballs. I think Wilyer Abreu in Fenway Park, if he's healthy, he is someone you need to worry about possibly hitting 35, 40 home runs. Because he's a little guy, 5'10", 215, and 35, 40 home runs would be an overachieving on his part. But he's got a great glove in right field. He hit 22 homers in 115 games last year when he was 26. And he's just seeing the ball really, really well. And if he can get going, if Roman Anthony, because now here's the wild card right here.
Mm-hmm.
The Red Sox extended Roman Anthony, and they're more or less banking on him being Mike Trout. Now, granted, Roman Anthony is great. He's not Mike Trout. I think that he's going to have a great career. I think he does have a lot of superstar potential, but we're also talking about someone who, as a 20-year-old, he's never hit more than 18 home runs in the minors.
Okay.
And that's in a full season too. That was in 2024 in about 119 games.
Yeah. I think
go ahead.
It's the Red Sox are just an interesting thing. I don't know what to expect out of them. They didn't Bregman opt out, he left, and now it's like I just feel like it's this wasteland of toys now, of new young toys anyways.
Look, I think the Red Sox ceiling this year is a wild card, but I do think there's just enough talent in that lineup where if everyone performs as they're supposed to, especially let's talk about this guy, Durbin third base.
Yes,
Caleb Durbin. If the way he swings the bat, this guy is going to be Dustin Pedroia light and just bang a bunch of doubles off the monster. Like, this is a former Yankees prospect. He went to the Brewers in the Devin Williams trade and came out of basically nowhere last year to have a 2.6 WAR season. As a 25-year-old, hits 11 home runs, hits 256, 105 weighted runs created plus. And keep in mind, Caleb Durbin is listed at 5'6", 183.
Wow.
So if he can hit well in Fenway Park, the Red Sox, I'm not saying they're going to be a World Series contender or win the division. They're going to keep some things interesting.
Definitely, for sure. All right, Orioles. They got Pete Alonso, which is the weirdest thing of all time, by the way. I never thought he would leave.
I mean, you and I were talking like the day he signed with the Mets when I was down in Florida.
Yeah, like he's leaving the Orioles, signed with the Orioles. Like, this is weird. Anyways, 85. Let's be honest here. We believed in them a couple years ago. They're the hottest story on earth, which is 2023 and 24. 2023 and 24 happened. Did we lose? Did they lose to fire, or is it just there's too much expectation for the Baltimore Orioles, you think?
Who really knows, Trevor? This is a very young team, and they say all the time prospects are suspect. Yes. And that's how you get someone like Gunnar Henderson, who, even though he's only 24 years old, went from being an MVP runner-up in 2024 and a 154 weighted runs created plus 37 home runs. And then last year, he still has a decent season, posts a 120 WRC plus, but the power in about the same amount of games dips to 17. So I wonder, maybe he can't hit the curveball. Maybe pitchers have figured him out. But what needs to happen for this team to do well, the lineup as a whole needs to come together and consistently perform. Yeah, adding someone like Taylor Ward from the Angels, that's a great move. He hit 30 home runs last year. I don't know if he's going to do that I don't know if he's going to do that in Camden Yards, but in a way, the Orioles are kind of like a weird, bizarro version of the Yankees in the last couple of years. They're banking so much on this young talent living up to its potential.
Definitely 85.5 over or under. You think?
Ugh, God, part of me says that just hold the line at 85.5. Part of me says roll the under.
I'm saying under.
Yeah, I'm gonna say under too, just because I haven't seen anything out of Adley Rutschman to kind of inspire hope that he's gonna bounce back, even though he had like a half decent spring. And again, Jordan Westberg's already hurt. Kobe Mayo, we don't know what to expect out of him. There's just and the pitching staff. I saw this today because one of my dad friends at my kid's school is an Orioles fan.
Oh.
And I was looking up, just curious. Oh, okay, they made lots of pitching acquisitions over the offseason. Who's going to be starting on opening day? And color me shocked when, despite signing Chris Bassett, trading for Shane Baz, Trevor Rogers, who 1,000% overachieved last year, is the opening day starter.
Jesus.
And you know Trevor Rogers. You live in Miami when he was at the Marlins.
Yeah, I was here when he got traded anyway, so which was crazy for Kyle Stowers. What a home run of a robbery of a deal.
Yeah, and so look, he had a really good year last year. He had a 1.81 ERA, but his expected ERA was 3.4, so that's not that bad. And he gave up lots of soft contact. He was a majority ground ball pitcher. I just don't see anything in particular. Like, what was the thing he did that's a surefire change?
Yeah, I don't know what he did either. So that's
why. So, but also the Orioles, they do have a new manager this year. They got Craig Albernaz from the Indians, or I'm sorry, the Guardians.
You could call him that. I call him that. The baseball club. We call him many Cleveland.
I watched Major League the other night. That's why.
Great movie.
But they got him from the Guardians, who was like their bench coach, assistant manager, and everything I've heard about this guy. Unfortunately, didn't really get to meet him. I don't even think he was at the winter meetings. But everything I've heard about this guy suggests he is he's almost like a tactician. And so maybe that means he's got some Joe Madden in him. Maybe he's going to do his own thing. But regardless, I think that there's too many questions around the pitching staff, especially when their big pitching moves were acquiring Shane Baz, who's maybe a 2 or a 3 at best, and Chris Bassett, who's already declining.
Yeah.
I don't think that unless the lineup overachieves across the board, like everyone's posting a 120 WRC plus or better, I see them. I'll roll with you under 85.5.
Okay. Tampa Bay Rays. We can be very thankful now. The Rays have new ownership now, right?
Yes, we are very thankful. I mean, I said for a while, look, if Stuart Sternberg was so hated by the owners that they more or less forced him to sell without actually forcing him, why can't they do that to Bob Nutting in Pittsburgh?
Or John Fisher in Oakland / Sacramento / whatever now.
Los Sacramento.
Los Sacramento. Like, put it on a t-shirt. 77.5. I don't know what to expect. They're opening up against their home opener is against the Cubs. I kind of want to go 77.5. I don't know what to expect for this Tampa team anyways. Can I say 70 and 91? So I'm going to go under here.
Yeah, I think going under is a very safe thing to do just because Gavin Lux just got hurt. There isn't a ton of power in the lineup beyond Junior Caminero or Jonathan Aranda.
Yeah.
Sed Mullins, like, he's a great guy to have in the clubhouse, and Jake Fraley, he's multi-talented. Yandy Diaz is another good glue guy. But again, even in on the pitching staff, Ryan Pepio got hurt today. With hip inflammation.
That's
okay. Steven Matz, he's great, but he's not a problem solver. And Shane McClanahan, a lot of the stuff that he was tossing in spring training, apparently he's losing his stuff.
Oh no.
Yeah, like the velocity is there, the movement isn't.
Meatball City, here we go. Tampa Bay baseball, here we go again.
Yeah,
so that'll be fun. Anyways, they're back at the Trop. I like them out. I actually liked them when they were leasing Steinbrenner Field. I really did enjoy that. By the way, even though I'm so mad I did not go out there for a game. I just truly enjoyed them playing outdoors. Anyways.
I'm very curious to see how the Trop plays this year because I don't know if you saw from the Tampa Bay Times, they had Taylor Walls was there recovering from his own injury. He was taking grounders on the new infield.
Yeah.
And I'm curious to see how that plays on TV because you'll recall in the last few years from pretty much 2016 and on, the Yankees have not performed well at Tropicana Field.
Like nobody has anymore.
Yeah, and so I remember thinking, okay, like what is so wrong with this ballpark that nobody likes playing here? And I said, look, the Yankees, if they really want to improve here, just look, have a folder called the Florida Project, literally,
Yes.
and in it just have every single player write down what they hate about the Trop and why playing there just sucks. And sure enough, I think that was in like 2021, 22. Like the Yankees, after I wrote suggesting that, I'm not saying they took my advice, but they slightly improved at the Trop.
There we go. Anyways,
yeah, right. But we'll see what happens. I just hope it looks prettier on TV before they open the new stadium.
Let's hope. Where do you want the new stadium to be? Is everyone wants this team to move to Orlando? I kind of wanted to stay in Tampa.
Well, that's funny because there's a movement for Orlando to get its own team. Because at the meetings this year, not to drop another name, Barry Larkin was there with a small handful of people trying to sell this team called the Orlando Dreamers. So it sounds like there's at least some demand for a ball team in Orlando. I just don't know, like with all the Disney infrastructure there, plus the Camping World Stadium. I'm sorry, like I don't know, like where you're gonna realistically put a new ballpark.
There's no space. It's the problem. We're running out of space. We have space for high-rise condos, but not no space for a ballpark anywhere.
Why go to the trouble of putting a team in Orlando when you know you're just going to build the stadium in Kissimmee?
They want the Orlando name, but they don't think Kissimmee has that major pull. That's why. Yeah. That's the thing. All right, let's do the AL Central. I think this is the most. Can we say the most entertaining division a little bit?
Yeah, because I love the AL Central because you never really know until at or about August 15th who's actually going to win the division.
Exactly.
And even then, the next 2 weeks, that could change.
If this was a Comedy Central show, what would the AL Central be anyways?
Oh, God. Part of me wants to say, Drawn Together.
Great show. Thank you. That is the answer. I was going to say Scrubs maybe, at least.
I almost said South Park, but no, it's Drawn Together. It's 100% Drawn Together.
Drawn Together. Another great classic show from the 2000s. All right. Let's start with the Tigers, 85.5. Pizza Boy, I call them the Illich family. I call them Pizza Boys. They finally paid. They underpaid Tarek Skubal. Are we going to enjoy him before he gets traded to a big name team? Could we say this is the last couple of years?
I think. Well, this is his contract year. I think that all depends on how the Tigers are doing at or about July. Because I don't know if you saw it today. Kevin McGonigal made the team.
I did not see that, by the way.
Kevin McGonigal made the team. And it's going to be a good year because they have I'm weirdly high on the Tigers rotation because you got Skubal, you got Framber Valdez, who even though it was an unlikely destination for him, I think that Comerica Park is a great spot for him, especially since his sinker is kind of starting to go.
Yeah.
Jack Flaherty and Casey Mize, if they're healthy, they're fine. The wild card is Verlander, who he's on his retirement tour. Let's just call it what it is.
Oh yeah, we agree.
I don't know how much longer he's going to play. What's funny is that even as because he had an awful spring first and foremost. Awful spring. He made 3 starts at a 5.4 ERA, 8.35 FIP. But what's strange about him is that last year with the Giants, even though the counting numbers were down-ish, the stuff was still playing. His stuff plus was still 103, which is 3 points above average.
Mm-hmm.
The location plus, that's more or less how well you are keeping the ball in the strike zone, that was at 99. But for the last few years, he's been kind of hovering around that as it is.
Mm-hmm.
Pitching plus, which is just general pitching IQ, that's 101. Okay. And so on the whole, there's still a good pitcher in there somewhere.
Yeah.
And even last year, for even going 4-11 in 29 starts with the Giants, his numbers weren't terrible. 3.85 ERA, 3.85 FIP.
He didn't get any run support. That's the thing.
We'll get to the Giants in a second with that. But with the Tigers, it's all about if their bullpen can hold up. How good is the support bridge to Kenley Jansen, who, let's call him what he is. He's a Hall of Fame closer.
Okay.
How well can Riley Green maintain all those strikeouts and keeping good contact? Is Colt Keith going to take a step forward? There's a lot of what ifs with the Tigers, but there's just enough talent in the rotation and in the lineup that AJ Hinch can bring it together.
Oh yeah, I think AJ Hinch going to the Detroit Tigers has been the most entertaining story of all time in baseball. Anyways, he's been doing a reclamation project, and we got Tariq Skubal, who's like the number one pitcher in baseball right now.
Yeah,
not named Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah, because their win total, it's what, 85.5. I put them at over.
I'm at over as well. I'm gonna say, am I crazy to say 97 wins for the Detroit Tigers?
Yeah, I put them more like 93, 94.
Okay, I'm gonna say 95. I just want to be cool. 93, 94.
Okay.
All right, guards 79.5. I'm gonna say under here. I don't trust Cleveland. Their ownership just hates baseball and fun. So
that's just tough with Cleveland because I like to look at them as sort of like the Astros, because I say to people all the time with the Astros, say what you want about the cheating scandal, the trash can, the this, the that. Independent of that, this is an organization that develops good pitchers.
Yes.
And the Guardians, what are they good at? They're good at developing pitchers and hitters who do not strike out.
Yes.
Now, they've got the problem is who's going to be the power support behind Jose Ramirez. Kyle Manzardo, great lefty bat, but he's still young. Chase DeLauder, you're putting a lot of faith in a guy who has never hit more than 15 home runs in the minor leagues. Yeah. Wait, am I reading that right?
Something like that.
Sorry.
I believe it. Sounds more historical than me. Anyways, I said over or under 79.5. I'm saying under. What about you?
I'll go over just because the division is a little weird.
It's drawn together anyway. Season 6, if there was ever one. All right, Royals 82.5. Over. I say over as well. White Sox 67.5.
Ooh, that's really tough. Because the White Sox, I said last season that we were going to know pretty soon if the team was responding well to Will Venable, and the run differential shows they have. Like he's clearly doing something right there. I'm going to put them at over, but not by much, just because it's such a young lineup.
I say over. I think they're a 71 win team. 71. I think that's perfect.
Going back to Cleveland, though, one name to be on the watch for this year is Travis Bazzana, the Aussie guy.
Travis P. We'll keep an eye out for him. Anyways.
Yeah.
Right. Twins 72.5. Their ownership, and is this the worst second worst or third worst baseball town and has an awful relationship with baseball, the Twins and their fans?
I have no idea what's going on, because it's one thing the one thing that you can tell about a chaotic organization is that people have clearly stopped talking to each other.
Yes.
And on top of that, I mean, I don't know if you saw, like a week or so before spring training, maybe 2 weeks, the Twins president of baseball ops, Derek Falvey, just kind of stepped down from his position, very kind of unceremoniously. And then all of a sudden, out came some guy. I think it was Tom Pohlad from the ownership, came out and said he wanted to start putting more money into the team. And so it became very clear that at some point, Pohlad went to Falvey about putting more money into the team, and I think Falvey was just kind of like what he was doing with the player development, because the Twins have an okay development system. Their farm system isn't terrible, but if you're willing to go out and spend just enough money for Carlos Correa, it's the Minnesota Twins. It's a historical franchise with lots of popular players going back to the old Washington Senators. This team deserves to be taken seriously. Agree.
It's like the fourth major team in the city anyways, when you look at it. When you look at the power rankings. So 72.5. Can I say just under?
I'd put them probably even more under, just because they lost so many players in the trade deadline last year. You know that Byron Buxton is going to get hurt at some point,
or traded.
Yeah, or Royce Lewis is going to get hurt at some point, and it's all about, okay, who's going to step up in the outfield or in the lineup? Trevor Larnach, Matt Wallner, I don't know. Joe Ryan might be traded this year.
Hey, wasn't he almost traded last year too? The Red Sox, and that trade got nixed so quickly.
It was either last year or this offseason.
One of the two, anyways. Ridiculous. All right. AL West, Mariners 89.5. They were your division winner last year.
I'll put them over just because they've done a lot of things right in terms of trying to run it back.
Yes.
People are going to bang on him for letting Jorge Polanco walk, but what more was he going to do? The only thing the Mariners have to worry about this year is they need to accept that Cal Raleigh is not going to hit 60 home runs again.
They need to accept that. Yeah, this is not unless he's roided up. Anyways, we just get the peak up out just in case.
Yeah, although because they didn't make a bunch of sexy moves in the offseason, like Brendan Donovan. I like him personally, but I just don't think he makes them better. I think at best he's someone in the lineup who, okay, he's gonna get lots of doubles and not strike out.
Yeah, that's St. Louis Cardinal baseball for you.
Yeah, and even then, Rob Refsnyder, he mashes lefties.
Hey, well, does he strike out? Is a major question.
Everybody strikes out.
Exactly. All right. Astros 86.5. They missed the playoffs for the first time in forever, by the way, since 2015, by the way.
Astros, I'm going to go under. Just because it's the lineup's getting very old. Jeremy Pena's already hurt. There's nobody in that outfield who is a masher. Okay.
No.
Yeah, and because Yordan Alvarez, he's the DH. Nice job. Yeah. and when your biggest off-season acquisition is Tatsuya Imai from the Japanese leagues, look, he's 27 years old.
That's a red flag.
Look, I try to give Japanese pitchers the benefit of the doubt.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a different game over there because there's not a ton of velocity. It's lots of finesse, and he puts up great numbers last year. I think he had a 1.92 ERA in 2025 for the Saitama Seibu Lions.
Okay. But
again, they're asking a lot of a 27-year-old who has never pitched in the majors. And for people always say, oh, Daisuke Matsuzaka. Yeah, he had one or two good years, and then look what happened.
That was my first thing that I thought of was Daisuke Matsuzaka. It was the first pitcher I thought of, by the way.
This being said, Japanese pitchers have a much better track record of succeeding in the majors than hitters do.
Hideki Matsui, come on.
Hideki Matsui. You had
Kosuke Fukudome does not count. He flamed out after 2.5 years anyway.
Yeah, but then he went back and played 10 more years in Japan.
Yeah, that's true. But I go by major league career anyway.
Yeah, Hideki Matsui and Ichiro are very much the exceptions.
Yes. I think of Japanese pitchers, Hideo Nomo, Kaz Ishi, if you want to go really throwback. Hideki Arabu does not. Huh?
Hiroki Kuroda.
That's another good one. Hideki Arabu does not count. Everyone want to run him out of town pretty quickly. Insert the Seinfeld meme right now.
Look, I'm just saying. George Steinbrenner called Hideki Arabu a fat toad, and then the guy went out and threw a 15-0 shutout against the White Sox.
True. It's all about that motivation by the boss anyways. People forget that.
Right.
People really do forget. I feel like we need that back in sports, especially in baseball and
depends on the team.
Hey, George Stein. That's the one. Ever since George Stein had passed away, that's the one thing we missed. That great edge of an owner telling the player to step it up anyway. So
yeah, seriously.
All right, Astros. I don't believe in any of them. I think it's their time is done anyways. I know my buddy Tyler's going to kill me for that, but oh well. Athletics 75.5.
I'm going to lean over.
Are you going to go over?
I'm going to lean over, and not just because I've got some friends within the organization, but they've been doing everything right in terms of building a team for Vegas. Like someone in the front office has gotten the memo.
Yeah.
And when the players know that they're secure in their money on the team, they're going to play better. And I think that adding someone like Jeff McNeil away from all the Mets BS, I think he's going to be a great locker room guy for them, even though he's probably traded by the deadline.
Mm-hmm.
I just really like this lineup, Trevor, because you got Lawrence Butler, you got Brent Rooker, Tyler Soderstrom, and Jacob Wilson, all of whom have gotten paid. The problem is the pitching staff. There's so many question marks about it, and
that's my thing.
Yeah, and again, this is the Moneyball team that made its bones in Moneyball by developing pitchers well. I have to be optimistic enough to think that someone like Jacob Lopez is going to step up.
Mm-hmm.
Or somebody, or maybe Luis Severino has a better year. I think that the lineup is talented enough that it can score enough runs per game that someone on the pitching staff can take them out and go, okay, I'm good.
Yeah. I'll go over with you anyways. I have a weird.
All right.
We'll go with that. Angels 70.5. Is this the? How do you describe the Anaheim Los Angeles adjacent Angels, by the way? If they're a television show from the 2000s or 90s?
Greg the Bunny, because it was a hot mess. Anyway, no. I don't know.
That's
Man.
the last season of Entourage. How about that?
Oh man, last season of Entourage, maybe the last couple seasons of Game of Thrones.
We'll go with that. I like Game of Thrones more. We'll keep it current with that.
Well, yeah, because it's clear that there's so much miscommunication and backstabbing. Like no one really knows what's going on here.
I don't even know who the manager is. They had Ron Washington there. Now I don't know where he's at now. So he's not. I know he's not the manager.
It's Kurt Suzuki.
Yeah, I can't
he,
buy this team anyways. I just can't buy into it. I'll say
yeah.
I'm gonna say under.
Yeah, I will too, just because there's I don't know who's pitching beside Yusei Kikuchi. There's Mike Trout, he's gonna get hurt at some point.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's I don't want to say they're gonna lose over 100 games, but they might lose over 100 games.
It's a great stadium if you're opposing fan. Anyways, I'll say that to take over. Doesn't matter.
It's under 6.
It doesn't matter who it is. All right, Texas Rangers 83.5. New manager Skip Schumacher, who was in exile after being in Miami and stuff. Can I say over? I trust the Rangers a little bit somehow.
I trust the Rangers too, just because Chris Young's a very smart executive.
Yeah.
And you have to figure that getting rid of Marcus Semien is going to ease some of the Corey Seager BS.
Mm-hmm.
It's just tough because there's a lot of power in the lineup. It's just kind of like a very up and down pitching staff because Mackenzie Gore, he's really good. I just don't know how well he's going to pitch in the New Arlington Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
Nathan Eovaldi and Jacob deGrom, they're both old.
Mm-hmm.
And Jack Leiter and fifth starter Kumar Rocker.
Yep.
Well, look, I'm rooting hard for Kumar Rocker to have a good career. I just think that with Jack Leiter, if you look at his underlying metrics from last year,
mm-hmm.
he's fine. I think he needs to take a big step forward this year for me to be convinced that he's going to be beyond like a mid-rotation fella.
Okay. All righty.
So, but this being said, to answer your question, I'm going to roll. I'll take the line of 83.5, if only because Skip Schumacher is going to make this team overachieve.
I'll take the over. I think there is an 85 win team anyways. That's
right.
what I think 85 and 77 at least.
That sounds realistic.
Yeah. All right. Before we go to our little break, who's your division winner for AL East? Yankees?
Yeah.
I'm with you on that one. Central Division winner, Tigers?
I'm gonna say the Tigers just because I think they have a more sustainable pitching staff than Cleveland.
Okay.
Because just looking at sorry, I don't mean to do this again, but just looking at the Guardian staff. Okay, Gavin Williams, Tanner Bybee, Slade Ciccone. It's a bunch of no names they develop who somehow turn out great in some capacity.
Mm-hmm.
But again, like I don't think that this slate of Guardians pitchers is going to be. I don't think there's a Corey Kluber among them.
There ain't no CC Sabathia. There ain't no
Kevin. No CC. There's no Corey Kluber. There's no Jarrett Wright.
Trying to figure out another random Cleveland pitcher.
Eric Plunk.
Eric Milton. How about that? No, he played for the Minnesota
Twins, but okay.
He played for the Twins.
Former Yankees prospect Eric Milton. Chuck Knobloch trade.
Yes. Who's your AL West winner?
Seattle.
All right. I will start. I like Seattle. I like give me the Tigers. Give me the Yankees. My two wild cards, I'm going to give you these. I'm going to say the Royals.
The Royals might steal one. I think that that the Royals might do it, or if the AL East is competitive, we might see Blue Jays Red Sox again.
I'm going to say Blue Jays as my wild card. And my other wild card, I'm such a homer because I'm just taking one from each of them. I'm going to say the Rangers at least.
All right.
I think it'll be fun.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, that's me. All right, news from the MLB. New TV deals. Netflix and NBC is back with baseball. How happy are we for both of those, would you say?
I'm very happy just because, like, ESPN, we love them to death. It was time to move on.
Yeah, I thought it was like how I looked at it. It was like it was one thing we had on Sundays, but it felt like we were getting pushed back always to like late soccer game or a lacrosse game, and we didn't get much of baseball tonight at 6 o'clock.
Well,
I
look,
was looking. I was
you
looking
and
at
I
it,
are
like,
roughly in the same demographic, dude. Because you and I both remember the best thing about Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN was watching Baseball Tonight going into it.
Yes, that's
And
why
now-
I was like,
Yeah, and now Baseball Tonight's barely a thing anymore.
I know. Or like it was like baseball tonight was always like late nights. Anyways, at 1 a.m. on the East Coast, 10 p.m. on the West Coast. Anyways,
The great thing about Sunday Night Baseball is that you came in from the weekend on Sunday, sweaty and gross.
Yep.
You had like leftovers from the grill, and then you turned on the TV, sat down like a lazy slob, and watched Chris Berman do his thing before John Miller and Joe Morgan came on.
Yes.
Rest in peace, Joe.
Thank you, Joe Morgan. Anyways, thank you, Joe. I'm kind of interested in what's going to happen with NBC because I don't know how many games we're going to get on over the air NBC at nighttime.
Yeah, I don't worry too. I try not to put too much stock in TV numbers just because so many people have cut the cord, myself included.
Mm-hmm.
But I do like how NBC is kind of going all in on sports again,
which I feel like it's way overdue. Someone at least is doing it. At least,
yeah, because I mean NBA on NBC was another great way to waste a weekend. NBA on NBC. That's 3 hours on your Saturday and Sunday if it's too cold outside.
Oh yeah.
And they've done a great job putting the team together. I think on NBC, Clayton Kershaw and Anthony Rizzo in the studio is going to be hysterical.
And Joey Votto too, also.
Joey Votto is going to be so sweet and Canadian, isn't he?
I feel like that's the first time big Canadian baseball superstar we're going to have on national television. It's not named Ryan Dempster, at least.
Or Larry Walker doing an interview.
True.
Larry Walker's big ass SpongeBob shirt.
True. I'm just excited because at least there's one TV network that's excited for sports, and they're dominating a day. Doesn't matter if it's the NBA, NFL, or MLB. It's like there's something to watch every Sunday and stuff. And like even though I have to buy Peacock again, anyways, I'm like, okay, fine, I'll do it anyways. But
yeah, and it's great too because the biggest problem with ESPN having such a monopoly on baseball for as long as it did, especially 2 nights a week, was accessibility.
Yeah.
Like, because even as part of the most basic cable package, it still wasn't cheap to get, and now you have it on NBC, which you need one big network, and Fox is there too. We'll throw Fox in there as well.
Yeah,
the fact that you got NBC and Fox as a 1-2 punch of network baseball, I think that's going to be great for baseball, the sport. I think it's going to be great for the TV industry. I like to think that if the numbers are good this season for NBC, maybe it staves off a lockout a little bit. I'm not too optimistic on that, but we'll see what happens.
Are we worried about TBS at all with Turner and the Paramount merger at all? As we're both talking about that.
Part of me says yes, but I also wanted to say that CBS and Paramount, they've been in on the NFL for so long that I don't see them stepping outside their comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, up until NBC got involved, I was saying how I thought
we said it on here many times, like CBS, get some baseball games at least,
Well, because I worked as a logger at CBS for several years, and like the first year I did it was 2004, right when I graduated high school, and I was watching either baseball, NASCAR, golf, whatever.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they stopped having loggers in during the summer, and they only had it from Labor Day when college football started up through the Elite Eight.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I just before NBC got involved, I thought, look, CBS is cheating itself by not at least trying Monday Night Baseball.
Yeah,
because the branding is there as it is. You can like do some tongue in cheek stuff with the football history that you have.
Oh yeah,
there's tons of guys who would be ready, willing, and able to jump on a CBS broadcast behind the mic and call a game, myself included, if they've had my stammering ass.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like there's no bad that's going to come from a major network broadcasting a major sport. And if baseball was already making money hand over fist without a network TV deal,
yeah.
And now it's only going to be good for both the sport and the business.
Are we gonna have do you think there will be a rotation sooner or later between Fox and NBC between the World Series? You think like they did back in the day in the 90s between it was NBC, Fox every other year almost?
Yeah, I really hope so. I'd love to see even ABC get involved. Just because
Championship Television will be back then.
Yeah, and I'll say this much: if Orlando does get a baseball team, Disney will get involved in streaming somehow,
Please.
or Hulu. Yeah, and so I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with Paramount or whoever. I just think that on the whole, network baseball is good for everybody.
Definitely. What's not good for everybody is the regional TV networks collapsing. Everyone's. Are we worried about that?
I mean, I'm coming from a place of privilege because I have the Yes Network.
I don't know what the Marlins are on this year. I really don't know. Anyways, it's like
yeah, because it's strange because I remember growing up the Yankees if they were on MSG for a while.
Yep.
Then they also had games on Channel 11. Then they were on Fox full time.
Fox 5, yeah.
Yeah, then 11 had him full time. Then Yes came along. It was so, and then My 9 had some games.
CBS 2 New York had some games as well. People.
I remember one time ABC had a random Saturday night game.
I don't remember that. I don't remember that.
Yeah, it was just it was a weird, strange broadcast rotation. And then by comparison, up until SNY came along, I remember the Mets were either on Channel 11 or some local Fox affiliate.
It was it was WB 11.
Yeah.
CW 11 or MSG and FSN New York were flip-flopping.
Yeah, FSN New York. That's right. You're right. Yeah.
That's why. And it was like when I looked at it, it was like when they lost baseball, like what's the point of this network anyway? So
yeah. And what's even, I don't want to say this is pathetic because these are all great guys in the booth, but I can't help but think the Yankees are so blatantly trying to copy the Mets booth right now because it used to be okay. Michael Kay, Paul O'Neill, and David Cohn. Those are your guys, and sometimes you'll have Joe Girardi step in. Here's Jeff Nelson. Here's John Flaherty or Cameron Maben in the studio. And now it's like, nope, it's going to be Kay, Cohn, O'Neill, and Girardi's going to sub in occasionally.
Yeah, when Joe Girardi's not doing Cubs television, that's why.
Yeah, and then in the studio, it's going to be Bob Lorenz and Jack Curry. Jack's phenomenal. And
there we go. Netflix, are we happy that they're doing the opening series? I'm very interested in what we're going to get. I know they just announced Jameis Winston will be on the stream, by the way.
Why?
That's my question. He played baseball at Florida State. I guess.
Great. Wonderful. Okay.
Some tape, some tie to him at least.
Maybe they're hoping he'll say something dumb or viral. I don't know. But I know a couple people at Netflix. They've been good to me. I'm super excited to see what they have to do just because, look, Netflix has been trying to get into the live streaming and sports market for a while. They've already got Monday Night Raw for WWE.
Yep.
And again, with more and more people cutting the cord, you're going to see all these streaming services try to get into live sports streaming. And I'm more curious to see how much better they might look compared to Apple, because Apple, God bless them, they tried so hard.
Yeah,
they tried so hard. I was so happy.
The first year was kind of shaky at times, so I threw on the radio feed a lot. That's why.
I mean, I loved watching Hannah Kaiser in the booth. So
yeah, she was entertaining at times.
Yeah, well, yeah, because I feel like she was the only one in the booth who actually kind of knew what she was talking about.
Yes,
and everyone else, like, they were all there for a good time, but it seemed like at times she was the only one who remembered. Oh yeah, we're here working too.
Yeah,
yeah.
So I feel bad for I know Apple TV's like they got rid of the paywall for MLS and now like because they have F1 now.
Yeah.
I do like the Apple. I feel like the Apple broadcast. It's nicer on my nice 65-inch television. It's the only thing that's the only thing I have it for, anyways. So
yeah, I mean, because having watched both the Aussie and Chinese Grand Prix on my TV and my laptop, respectively, this year, it's Apple definitely looks better on the TV.
Definitely. I'm gonna save the lockout stuff for the end because let's talk about the National League at least. We'll start with the NL East. Are the Mets going to win 90.5 games? Over under for the Mets, 90.5 games. Yes or no?
90.5?
That's what I found on DraftKings last night.
I think it's an over certainly achievable. Because look, the bats are there. You got Lindor, you got Bichette, Soto, Luis Robert Jr. has been hitting the ball very well. Carson Benj apparently is ready to go. And then you got Brett Beatty, who's a wild card. So the offense alone is enough to carry this team.
Mm-hmm.
The question, of course, is how healthy is the pitching going to be behind them? Because look, Freddie Peralta's fine. He's going to take care of himself.
After that, anyways.
Yeah, but David Peterson, is he going to build off of a career season? Nolan McLean, is he going to be a Rookie of the Year contender, or will he even stay healthy with that sinker sweeper combo? That's a wreck on anyone's elbow.
Mm-hmm.
Kodai Senga was 2 different pitchers last year. Clay Holmes, he's going to get tired. Sean Manaea is going to piggyback off one of these guys.
Yeah, someone's got to be somebody at least.
Yeah. Now look, the Mets have some good arms waiting in the wings. You got Jonah Tong, you got Christian Scott, Tobias Myers is back, and you have Devin Williams and Luke Weaver as the former Yankees 1-2 punch at the back end of the bullpen. So there's potential there to go to 90 to 90 and a half or more, especially because there isn't a ton of competition in the division.
This is the weakest I've seen the NL East in maybe 20 years or 15 years. Like maybe the 04 maybe, can we say?
Yeah, the big question with the NL East this year is the Marlins. Are they going to overachieve or fully regress again? Because we just talked about Skip Schumacher, right?
Yes.
He's the first year at the Marlins. They come out playing great. I can't remember if they made the playoffs or not.
They made the wild card. They lost to Philly in 2.
Great. He was manager of the year. And then sometime between then and the following season, it became very clear that whatever he wanted to do with the team, ownership was not going to support him. And he told
Kim Ng to get the hell out of there, which was the first mistake, anyways.
Yeah, and that was the writing on the wall, that he was just clearly checked out of the job. He's like, look, I'm not going to do anything here.
Yeah.
Now, granted, to me, that's also kind of a red flag for a guy.
Huge red flag, yeah.
Yeah, because as someone who suffered through almost a decade of Joe Girardi, the biggest problem with Joe Girardi, there have been books written about this. When his team is losing, he shuts down. He holds up in his office, does not talk to anybody. Now, granted, I'm going to give Schumacher the benefit of the doubt just because the Miami Marlins are kind of a clown show organization.
Well, you got Clayton McCullough now, who's now the manager.
Well, that's just it. You know how I said every team is very good at doing at least something? The Marlins are good at hiring managers.
Yeah.
So they clearly have an eye for who's good for their team. Clayton McCullough comes over fresh off a World Series from the Dodgers. And, the Marlins, who were a joke in 2024, they finished 4 games under 500.
Yeah.
Minus 89 run differential isn't great.
Yeah.
But no, this is a team that
they were competitive the whole summertime at least.
Yeah, and
which is key to the locals down here in Miami.
We are going to see just what this team is made of within the first 6 weeks of the season, because if nothing's changed much compared to last year, then I'm not saying they're going to be a wild card team. I'm saying they're going to play spoiler again. But again, we know what to expect from the Miami Marlins at this point, and we'll know very soon what to expect from the 2026 team.
All right, Marlins 72.5, by the way.
I'm gonna be optimistic and go over.
I say over as well. There's one team I forgot. I forgot about the Nationals, by the way. That's how bad it is with me.
Well, we also have to talk Phillies and Braves.
I know, but we were talking Marlins. Let's do their over under. Phillies are 89.5. They got El Bombe from the Texas Rangers.
Yep.
I don't trust anything with the Phillies, anyways. They just know how to. Whenever October hits or September, end of September, October hits, their bats go cold. I don't know what it is. They have to sage the locker room or something at least.
Well, that's just so with the Phillies. They've kind of hit into the all too familiar Dave Dombrowski wall because
Detroit Tiger style at least, anyways.
Yeah, because I remember last time I was on your show, Trevor. We talked how Dave Dombrowski is the perfect guy if you need to sell your team to free agents, and that's exactly what he did with the Phillies, who just happen to have good player development as well. Now, the downside of this is that guys like Bryce Harper and Trey Turner are starting to age, and Kyle Schwarber too. Now, granted, Kyle Schwarber is not old. He's only 33, just signed a new 5-year deal, and he's coming off a career best 56 home run season.
Yep.
I don't know if he's going to do that again.
No.
But again, it's all about, all right, you got Kyle Schwarber and Bryce Harper. Those are your 2 big boppers. You need at least one more. Is it going to be Trey Turner? Justin Crawford? Alec Boehm's finally going to be unuseless?
Is El Bombe actually start, you think?
Oh, you're talking about Adolis Garcia?
Adolis Garcia, yeah. Do you think he's going to do anything?
I think that he's definitely their starter in right field. I really want him to have a good year because Adolis Garcia is my guy.
Yes. And he's in a hitter's ballpark anyways. He's not in a pitcher's park anymore.
Yeah, and he had a really good spring training too. At 275, he took his walks. He hit a couple homers.
Yep.
I think that if he can find his swing again and take his walks and not strike out too much, I think that Adolis Garcia can hit easily at least 20, 25 home runs in Philadelphia.
I'm gonna say over. I'm gonna say 93 wins.
I'll say over too, just because this is a very good pitching staff too.
Yeah. That is true.
Yeah, and they've also done the right thing and extended the two guys at the top, Christopher Sanchez and Jesus Luzardo. The question is behind them because Aaron Nola's a year older. Zach Wheeler is coming off of thoracic outlet syndrome surgery. Andrew Painter, I think he's a stud.
Mm-hmm.
The bullpen's also half decent. But again, they need that third big bat behind Bryce Harper and Kyle Schwarber. And I don't know who that is.
That is true. All right. Braves, 86.5. Spencer Strider has been in front on the IL to start the season already.
Yeah, I'm gonna go under on the Braves.
I like under too. I think they're 80 and 82.
That sounds about right. I might put them between 75 and 80 wins just because, again, it's a very good lineup, but it's a very old lineup. Matt Olson's a year older. Ozzy Albies, you know exactly who he is. Austin Riley is streaky.
Did they sign their big time players way too early, you think? And now it's biting them in the ass?
To a certain extent, I think. I mean, Michael Harris especially.
Yeah. I feel like he hasn't done anything in a couple of years anyways. So
yeah, and then Sean Murphy's been hurt ever since they extended him.
Yep.
Chris Sale is a Hall of Famer, but I don't know, man.
He looks weird in a Braves uni for me. That's the thing. So
I just think that this year at age 36, I can't help. And I'm sorry, he's about to turn 37 in a week. I think that, look, he had an okay spring training. The underlying metrics aren't great, and the strikeouts were pretty down.
Yeah.
I do think that this might be an instance where that herky-jerky lineup finally catches up with him, even with his velocity not entirely down.
I hear you. All right, Nationals, 65.5 is your over-under. I last checked, by the way. Has this team been sold yet? Like, what's the deal with this team? Would you say?
No, the Lerners still own the team, but I don't know. I'm gonna go over on them just because it's a young team with a young manager. Blake Butera looks really excited to have the job. Mm-hmm. And it's not like he doesn't have any talent to work with. CJ Abrams is very good. James Wood is very good.
Mm-hmm.
The downside is they don't know who's going to be that third bat behind them. Is it going to be Kybert Ruiz? Is it going to be this Abimelec Ortiz fellow they got in the Mackenzie Gore trade?
Big one.
Yeah, and again, like it's a weird pitching staff because you have Zach Littell and Miles McCollis. Mm-hmm. as the veterans, but then Cade Cavalli is very young. Don't know what to expect from him, and he walks some guys. Josiah Gray is hurt. Former Yankees prospect Clayton Beater might be their closer.
A lot of interesting stories. I'll say with the Nationals, at least we'll say that for sure.
Yeah, but I think that they're in the position where they know they've got nothing to really lose in they're playing. So I think that if Blake Butera can come in and at least just start with just go out there and play, that's a good jumping off point. Much like Pedro Grifol with the White Sox a couple years ago, we'll probably know pretty soon whether or not he's the guy in DC.
We will see about that, or if the Nationals will ever be sold yet. That's the other big thing.
We'll see.
All right. NL Central, Cubs 85 at 88.5. PCA has been signed, but no, Jeff Pass won't give out the details anyways. I'm going to say an 8-year deal at least.
Yeah, I was really excited to see that Pete Crow Armstrong got extended. He's so fun to watch.
Yes. He's probably the best thing to watch for the Cubs since I think they're in a rebuild year. The only thing you look forward to is watching Starling Castro make a cool defensive play or Anthony Rizzo hit bombs at least. So
if you think about it now, the Cubs have a pretty good defensive infield.
Yeah.
Because you got Bregman, you got Swanson, Nico Horner is a stud.
And first baseman, you got Michael Busch anyway. So it'd be very
and then former Yankee Tyler Austin to play against lefties.
Yeah, I think you got that. I don't know who's catching this year is a big question for the Cubs.
Carson Kelly.
All right. I'm fine with that. It's like everyone's been bitching about the catching position. I liked Reese McGuire last year. He was actually entertaining for the Cubs, at least. He would actually hit occasionally. So that's why.
Carson Kelly is everything Mike Zunino was supposed to be.
Pitching staff. He got Edward Cabrera from the Los Marlins for Owen Casey. And I was kind of like, cool, we'll take it anyways. Justin Steele will probably be back by mid-June, I'll say, because he had Tommy John. And
Javier Assad.
Javier Assad, the mechanic, I call him. He looks like a guy who works on the cars with the glasses. He's like, to give you the report, like, you need this done, you need this done. I was like, okay, bud.
You need a new transmission.
New transmission, maybe a new rear differential at least.
Yeah.
88.5. I'm gonna say over. I think it's
you're gonna hate me. I'm gonna roll under just because as much as I love this lineup, this pitching staff scares the living hell out of me.
It does me too, anyways. But we'll see. We'll see. Anyway.
Yeah, because like I'm sorry if the top, I'm looking at Fangraphs right now. If Matthew Boyd is the guy at the top of your depth chart, that's a problem.
I know that's my one question mark. Why do we have to name Boyd? I think it's for arbitration rules, anyways. So
yeah, and look, Shota Imanaga. Look, he tried. He just got super lucky last year.
I think he's been lucky his whole time. He's made over to the Major League Baseball from Japan.
Well, he got really lucky this time last year because his ground ball rate I think was sub 30%.
Yeah,
and his BABIP was 219.
Until the summertime hits, that's when everything was going like out the park. Anyways, that's my big thing with Shota. Anyways.
Yeah, I mean, well, I'll pull up his splits right now because he went 9-8 with a 3.73 last year, sub 1 WHIP in 25 starts.
Mm-hmm.
But if you look at him last season between the first half, 6-3, 2.65 ERA and 12 starts. After the break, 3-5, 4.7 ERA, 13 starts.
Yeah, he was like at least going 5 innings usually.
Like the one thing he was consistent at was not walking guys.
Exactly. Unless it was in the playoffs anyways. So
yeah.
You said under over. I'm gonna say 92 wins at least.
I'll give him about 82.
Okay. Brewers 84.5.
The Brewers are such an interesting team, man, because
I can't stand their manager, by the way. I really can't.
Oh, come on. Pat's great. Pat's
he's made me hate Notre Dame even more anyways. That's why.
Of course he does.
Yes.
Look, I'll say this about the Brewers. This is a team that loves short infielders.
Yes, that is true.
I mean, Salfrey looks at an outfielder, but he can play the infield. He came up as one.
Mm-hmm.
Andrew Vaughn is under 6 feet. Bryce Terang
I hate Andrew Vaughn with a passion, including his White Sox days. I hate how he's with Milwaukee even more now. So
yeah, Andrew Vaughn, he's under 6 feet. Bryce Terang, he's under 6 feet. David Hamilton, Joey Ortiz.
So they're short
Williams. Jet Williams from the Mets is 5'7".
I thought he was a Yankee the whole time. That sounds like his perfect Yankee name. He was Jet Williams.
J-E-T-T. No, Jet Williams at 353 in spring training.
Good for him. 84.5.
84.5. I'm gonna roll over, but not by much, just because there's a lot of questions about this pitching staff again.
Under. Give me the under. I think 81 wins.
All right.
That's me just hating the Brewers anyways. Cincinnati, 80.5.
Over. Tito's gonna get something out of this team.
Give me over. I'd rather take the Reds in the playoffs than the Brewers. Pirates, 78.5. Is Bob Nutting selling? That's a real gambling line anyways.
I mean, no.
Not yet. It's cute.
Not yet. I'm gonna go under just because there's not a ton of talent in this lineup. There's guys I like in this lineup, but there's no one guy who you look at and go, oh, okay, yep, that's the dude. Especially with Connor Griffin back in minor league camp.
Mm-hmm.
This being said, I fully expect the Pirates to win tomorrow against the Mets. I think they'll probably try to hang on to him at least into his arbitration years.
Okay. I was trying to see who's going to be the first team to make a trade from anyways. That's what we want anyways.
I think regardless of who trades for him, I think he's ready to go to the Yankees as a free agent.
Did you see last year's opening day for Pirates opening day, what Yankee fans were wearing?
No.
They were wearing someone already made Paul Skeene Yankee jerseys already.
Of course he did.
Yes. Someone already was doing that. So I'm ready for him to be a Yankee anyways, which I'm fine with anyway. So he wants to go to the big stage, let him go anyways. All right, Cardinals 69.5. Chaim Bloom is your new GM there. This is the worst I've seen the Cardinals in a decade or two decades.
Look, Chaim Bloom comes from the Rays organization, and we said this on Baseline Baseball a couple weeks ago. This is a full teardown.
Oh, yeah. It's just not
Yeah.
just a simple, it's a full-on teardown.
Yeah, I mean, just when you look at the way that the Cardinals have developed pitchers, I get that you want to, okay, this is a fine line to walk because the complaint was that they're teaching guys to pitch to contact, which, okay, you don't want to limit your arms to doing that because you want to try and milk some velocity.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you got to at least try to develop high strikeout arms as opposed to just soft contact and ground balls.
Yeah.
Now,
you got to do more than that.
Yeah. Now, when the best player in the lineup to look forward to is Mason Wynn, who most of his WAR, he had a 3.6. He's projected to get a 3.6 WAR this year. Had a 3.5 last year, but that was almost entirely on the defensive side.
Mm-hmm.
The guy is not much of a hitter.
Mm-hmm.
He's not great. He's still young. He could still bounce back. But that the Cardinals' biggest story going into opening day is that J.J. Weatherholt made the team.
Mm-hmm.
Look, he's a short infielder, lefty bat, kind of like Colton Wong light maybe. He's got a little bit of power. He can steal bases. Again, it's a full teardown, and I feel bad for Cardinals fans. That's all I'm going to say.
I don't feel bad for them. Under.
I'll go under.
Under as well. All right. NL West. Dodgers 102.5. Over.
Yeah, I guess we got to do over because it's the Dodgers. They're stacked. They got Kyle Tucker.
Kyle Tucker, who hates baseball, by the way. I've been told by people he hates baseball. He wanted to play for Tampa, but Tampa didn't want to pay him money. That's what I've been told by people.
Yeah, well, he got $60 million a year from the Dodgers, so I'm sure he's pretty happy now.
Yeah, enjoy. Well, let's hope. I want to see how he gets injured this time. Will he go in the DL or not? That's a better question. All right.
It's going to be interesting to see with the Dodgers, though, if how the pitching staff holds up because Blake Snell's already hurt, and you know that Tyler Glasnow's going to get hurt again at some point.
Someone just get him the drugs already for the doctors already. Get him the healing drugs already. All right, yeah. Padres 83.5.
I'm gonna go over, just because they're in a weird spot right now. I don't know what to expect from Craig Stammen being the manager.
Yeah,
but the fact remains, this is a stacked lineup. You got Machado, you got Nando, Jackson Merrill's one of my favorite guys to watch.
Mm-hmm.
And there's even potential with the pitching staff. You got Nick Pivetta, who may or may not overachieve. Michael King is great. Joe Musgrove, when he comes back from Tommy John, I think he's hopefully going to be pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry, Mason Miller.
Yeah, might even pitch in the World Baseball Classic. We'll never know. My biggest thing is who's going to own this team.
I'm not really sure. I think that at the end,
I know Lacob wants it. The guy, Joe Lacob, who owns the Warriors, he wants the Padres, which is interesting.
I don't think that would be a bad move at all. I think that honestly, at the end of the day, I wouldn't be shocked if the Padres were bought by kind of like what the Dodgers did with the Magic Johnson situation.
Okay. I kind of call this their last hurrah, anyways. I don't know what's going to expect after the season, anyways.
Yeah, I mean, it's a team that has to be blown up in some capacity, especially just to get some pitching.
Yeah, that's their big thing. They need help in that department, I feel.
Yeah, they really do.
All right, let's get to the real interesting team, the Giants. They hired a college baseball manager who was at Tennessee.
Yeah.
This is my storyline of the year. I want to see how this guy does anyways. I really do.
Look, I told you, I talked to Tony Vitello at the winter meetings. This guy understands the assignment.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. I hope that he does well because his lineup is kind of tricky. There's not a whole ton of room for power outside of Helio Ramos or Matt Chapman or Rafael Devers if he's playing well.
Yeah.
And on top of that, like there's just the pitching staff is kind of up and down. And look, Logan Webb is great, and then you have Robbie Ray, who's also a Cy Young winner. But after them, like it's the middle of the rotation and on, very choppy.
Yeah, very, very choppy. 80.5 is your over under wins. I'm gonna
go. This is not easy, is it?
No, this is hard. I feel under on this one.
I'm gonna feel under, but like barely. I'm thinking maybe 78, 79. Because look, I think there's going to be
that's what I was thinking. 79 wins at least.
I think there's going to be some growing pains for Tony just because the college game is so different from the pros. But he was talking to so many people. He came off confident but not cocky. He was very trying. Hey, look, you and I both know college athletic coaches at their core, they're salesmen, right?
Oh yeah.
And Tony Vitello was putting in a big effort to selling himself.
Mm-hmm.
And from where I was standing, he was very determined, not overly eager. He was just taking it very seriously, answering the questions as they came to him, just kind of like letting everyone know, like, no, look, I know that I'm an unconventional hire, but like, I know what I'm talking about. Like I can hang with you guys.
If this works out well, do we see more college baseball managers making the
I really hope so.
I kind of want it. I really do. I feel like the LSU manager would be really entertaining if he gets if the Tennessee manager Tony Vitello does really well. I would love to see like if someone needs to do a cool hire, like if there's a team out here like needs a jolt. If I like to say this, if the Astros manager gets fired, let's throw it out in existence here.
Joe Espada, yeah.
Joe Spotty. I would go if there's one college baseball manager you go for. You either go for I think the LSU baseball manager would be perfect, and whoever else is available, anyways. I just want to see youth in baseball, anyways, with younger minds at least.
Well, honestly, with the Astros, if they fire Joe Espada and go the college route, I wouldn't be shocked if they went full Texas and got Jim Schlossnagle from University of Texas.
That's a good one. I think he was at A&M when
A&M and TCU.
Yes, Jay Johnson. So, and the A&M coach was also was managing, who's now in Texas, was managing Jeff Kent's son, anyways.
Yeah, who's in the Yankees organization, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so. I could be wrong.
Colton, Caden, something like that.
Son is Caden Kenta, actually.
Yep. Yeah, I remember him. He was doing pretty well for us in the spring.
There we go. All right. I think the Giants are going to be the interesting story. That's probably be my West Coast baseball team to watch, just to keep an eye out with that storyline for me in this podcast, anyways.
The Giants are just one of those teams where, unless you're a Dodgers fan, it's kind of hard to dislike them.
I don't mind them. I have my good
dislike players on the Giants. You can't dislike the team.
No, I have a good buddy, Sam Lubman, who does Baseball Fries and Garlic Fries baseball podcast for Odyssey Sports. By the way, go check that out, anyways. And he talks baseball in there all the time, anyways. So definitely, it gives me an interest to watching the West Coast, anyways. And plus, there's a few secrets I will tell you later on, anyways. About if you want to listen to the baseball without problems, anyways. All right, Diamondbacks 79.5. They have Nolan Arenado, and that's really it for me.
I think that they're gonna go under.
Yeah,
because I really want to believe in this team, Trevor. They've got such fun bats, and I love that they brought in Carlos Santana just to bring in some extra leadership.
Yeah,
Geraldo Perdomo is the best infielder you've never heard of.
Yep, and Corbin Carroll.
Yeah, but again, like he's either going to be healthy or he's not. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. is already hurt, and we're still waiting for Jordan Lawler to break out.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry, man. I don't trust this pitching staff. I just
Me
don't.
Me neither.
Like when your opening day guy is Zach Gallen, Merrill Kelly's back is already flaring up because he's old, and you need both Brandon Pfaadt and Ryan Nelson to take big steps forward this year. Meanwhile, here's Erod, who was great in the World Baseball Classic, hasn't been great ever since coming to Arizona, and Corbin Burns still recovering from Tommy John.
Yikes.
And okay, you got Paul Sewald. Headline the bullpen.
I'm like not impressed at all. Under.
Very much under.
All right, Rockies.
Don't like giving it under. Sub under.
I'm gonna say this, they can't even win the first overall pick since they've been in the top 5 anyway. That's how bad it is.
On Baseline Baseball, we have an ongoing joke about how the Rockies' run differential last year was 424, and we're kind of debating if it's going to be better or worse this year. Because we were doing our preview. They did nothing to improve the team. Nothing.
Is that all right? I'm going to give you 3 ballparks: Rockies, Diamondbacks. I will also say Marlins. And I will say Rays and Rangers. Which one was more appealing to go to for a fan takeover, you think, this year?
I'm gonna give the Marlins Park Lone Depot the benefit of the doubt just because we saw a lot of that watching the World Baseball Classic, and ever since he got rid of that stupid Jimmy Buffett monstrosity out in center field, it looks like a real ballpark.
Yes, that's my spot. I usually stand at, anyways, in the lower deck, anyways.
Yeah, like I look, that whole statue thing. Did it look really cool? Yeah, for a minute. That's something you put outside the stadium, not
For a day.
Yeah. No, I display it out there permanently as like a cool piece of street art.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the Rockies are just a complete. I don't want to say the Rockies
are. Bar. It's the world's biggest sports bar for opposing fans.
Fans go there to have a drink and watch a quadruple A team.
Yes, that's what I call.
Hey, Michael Lorenzen and Jose Quintana, right? They're the saviors.
What could go wrong, anyways? All right. ABS. Are we excited for this ABS strike zone for this coming year for baseball?
Yes, I am excited for it. Just because, like, not so much the challenge aspect of it.
That's what I'm looking forward to the most, anyways.
Yeah, look, that's going to be great. I'm not discounting that it's going to be like bad. It's going to be really good for the game.
Yes.
I'm not a fan of how he came to it. What I will say, and you and I have talked about this a lot as well, I'm excited that we now have another tool for umpire accountability.
Yes, that's what I think we've been needing it for 25 years.
We've been needing that for a very, very long time, because the fact that if an umpire does not, that Angel Hernandez was blowing calls left and right and was still getting some playoff assignments here and there and still had a job for as long as he did. Look, I'm all for factoring seniority in at least a little bit. Gets the playoff assignments for the umpires.
Yep.
But you also got to be good at your jobs. Like if you're shitty at your job, you don't get to go to the playoffs just because it's
exactly. I'm ready for the accountability. Did you enjoy how the MLB put the kibosh on the Brewers doing their own little card system of challenging or not challenging it?
Yeah, like everyone's going to try and get ahead a little bit. We saw this with hitting in the Apple Watches, and the Brewers are going to do their little mom and pop card thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think that there's going to, just like with the pitch clock, we're going to have some growing pains with ABS. I'm looking forward to when it happens in the ninth inning of a crucial game and a call gets reversed or upheld that has like serious impact.
That's what I'm waiting for anyway. That's what I'm waiting for.
Yeah.
All right. The one word I hate using, lockout. It is it's in the air. It's very thick. How do we avoid talking about this 24/7? Like I compare this to I compare it to the 03-04 lockout pretty much for the NHL, like going into that season with the NHL pretty much.
Yeah, I don't think at the end of the day there's going to be concern over a full season being canceled. I do think we're going to lose some games. Mm-hmm. But the good news for the players is that unlike with the last lockout, which was right before 2022, right now, not just this offseason, this is going back to last offseason, the media, Jeff Passan especially, they are advocating for the players indirectly like nobody's business. Mm-hmm. Like Jeff Passan said, like, everyone's making great money. Why would you deny fans to see these once-in-a-generation type talents like Roman Anthony, like Fernando Tatis Jr., like Tarek Skubal?
Like Pete Crow Armstrong, too. Anyway.
Yeah. I mean, there's so much talent to watch, and fan interest in baseball is at an all-time high, at least amongst millennials and Gen Z. Yeah. And I think that for them to just die on the hill of a salary cap where revenue sharing that serves as a soft cap as it is.
Yeah.
Look, I get that. I have made peace with the fact that at some point in our lifetime, baseball is very, very likely going to have a salary cap.
I see it happening one
day,
right? And I'm like, okay, fine.
However, Hal Steinbrenner says it best. He goes, look, I don't mind having a salary cap, but there's got to be a floor first.
I agree with that too. Anyways,
yeah, I think that if you institute a salary floor of anywhere from $75 to $100 million, and if you can, okay, here's the kicker for if there's ever going to be a salary cap in baseball.
Yeah,
in order for there to be a cap or floor in baseball. Now, mind you, this is not going to happen this round of negotiations because the TV deal's already locked in. When it comes time to renegotiate TV deals, they've got to follow the basketball route and get it so that, okay, every year of this TV deal, the cap's going to go up exponentially. Now, is that gonna lead to guys being overpaid? Yeah, but guys always get overpaid.
Yes.
Jameson Tyon's making almost $20 million a year. Does he deserve it?
Not really, but he deserves he gets his own money anyways. He got his agent to do it.
Yeah, and he's got great taste in coffee, so all the better.
Yes.
Yeah. But again, I think that we're about to, and I'll say this much: the Tony Clark drama does not help the players.
No, it does not help the players.
Yeah, and he wasn't great at his job either. Mm-hmm. And Bruce Meyer, it's like, all right, meet the old boss, same as the old boss.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, Trevor.
Who should be in charge of the player association? It's not named Tony Clark.
Zach Britton.
Okay. What is he doing right now? Are we sure?
Well, Zach Britton, he's retired down in Texas, spending time with his, I think, 4 kids right now. He's done a handful of interviews on podcasts. But I remember when he was a player, he was very, very, very active in the players' union.
Yeah.
And I think that if he is interested in taking some sort of advocacy job and being the face of something and shaking a few hands and kissing a few butts, I think that he is a very strong, intelligent voice to have at the table. Max Scherzer too, if he wants to do that when he retires.
I think he's the perfect one, honestly. It's him and Burton and Scherzer, like a law firm almost.
Yeah. So I don't know. What has to happen, it's like it's the same as setting boundaries with a parent. The players have to hold the line.
Agree. Definitely.
And the owners, they don't want to lose any money. Because there's some owners who this is just a toy. There's some who actually care. The common denominator being they all get fat paychecks from this. And I have a very, very hard time believing that they're going to go so hard for a lockout again when players honestly would probably be more than happy to run back the current CBA.
Yeah. It just all depends what's going to happen. And we don't know. This is the biggest in limbo season of all time. And also there's some teams that treat this like a business, like the Cubs, who have a TV deal that's just awful anyways.
Yeah.
So, all right, Josh, what's going on with Baseline Baseball? What is his schedule now with baseball starting up this week?
All right, so we're trying. Good question. We're trying to get episodes out at least once a week. Every Monday, we're possibly talking a rebrand relaunch, but that's like not fully in the cards yet. We're having conversations. Up until then, we are getting on a Zoom call, jumping behind the mic, hitting record, and doing everything very haphazardly like usual.
There we go. Josh, we'll do a check-in with you. I'm going to put some shame to someone as our buddy who's in the chat, but we like to say our buddy at Crossing Broad who covers the Phillies. I'm blanking on his name. He was supposed to join us today. And he did
Luke. Yeah, Luke Arcani.
Luke Arcani.